One Piece! Ikuzo!
Shanks' evil plan. The next Pirate King, Buggy. Rise of the Clown. Hi everyone, it's Flying Panda. Buggy needs to be stopped, or rather Oda needs to be stopped. Oda does it again. The trolling of this man is unreal. Buggy is now Yonko. Okay, taking a deep breath. So there has to be a reason for this, right? It's not just for comedic effect, hopefully. Okay, so let's try and make some sense of this, cause I'm sure many casual readers and even some in-depth readers might be a little confused over how and why Buggy of all people became a Yonko. Let's start with Buggy's introduction back in chapter 9. Well, he's mentioned by name in chapter 8, but we first seen him in chapter 9. Besides being his odd appearance act like a typical pirate captain, he orders his men to plunder the town they've taken over and even orders the death of one in his own crew for insulting his nose, even though it was mostly Buggy's misunderstanding. Probably, what's most important about Buggy is that he's the first devil fruit user Luffy faces off against since setting sail on his journey. And no, before anyone suggested to Alvida, who was the first devil fruit user, she didn't have the smooth fruit until Logtown. She gained it after Luffy beat her. Anyway, Buggy's devil fruit, being the chop fruit, holds little to no importance here. It's a power to separate his body into pieces and is mostly useful against anyone who uses a sword or blade. More on that later. Buggy himself is almost made out of a bit of a joke character, but after noticing Luffy's straw hat, he reveals that he knew the former owner, Shanks. Not only does he know him, but of course they were both apprentices on the same pirate ship, which we find out much later to be Roger's ship. Buggy is a clown both in name and in character. He's shown that he doesn't choose to pick a fight with anyone he knows is more powerful than himself, and even though this is cowardly, it's pretty reasonable. And of course Luffy's whole thing is to fight anyone stronger than him, which isn't smart, but this is how he himself gets stronger. Buggy on the other hand doesn't concern himself with power, well later on, in the story anyway, and chooses to either bluff or run away from a fight. We can guess this is due to his capture by Smoker in Logtown and his time in Impel Down. On the whole, Buggy isn't that strong. His great strength is his crew, the escapees from Impel Down that makes up most of his crew. So how has Buggy become a Yonko? Heck, how did he even become a warlord? Well, the warlord is fairly simple. The world government needs to fill not one, not two, but 3 places, and given Buggy's being revealed as an ex-Roger pirate, it instills fear and shock into the common people. This was enough to boost his reputation to make him a suitable candidate for the role, even if it is more of a figure role rather than they relied on him. So then how, oh how, can he be a Yonko?
Again, fairly simple really. He's crew. Let me correct myself, sorry. He's new crew. More precisely, he's new members. All 4 of them. But who? The remaining warlords. Edward Weevil, Boa Hancock, Rackle Mihawk, and Sir Crocodile. Crocodile being a former warlord, not of the current. Now hold up, before you start going crazy in the comments, there is a sound reason for this. This warlord joint force was suggested to me by a friend by the name of High Elk, Texas Ranger, so credit to him for the idea. He suggests that the warlords, after being revoked from their titles as warlords, joined forces under the flag of Buggy the Clown. As crazy as it sounds, it also makes a lot of sense. Now you might be asking, but why would some of the most powerful pirates in the Grand Line join forces and sail under Buggy's flag of all people? And you'd be right to wonder why. Why sail under someone who's weaker?
Okay, as we know, Buggy isn't as strong as many other pirates, but he does have a charm about him. Much like what Luffy has, how he inspires and people take a liking to him, as shown with the Impel Down prisoners. But that's not the case here with Buggy. Nope. He may be able to fool weak-minded simpletons like the Impel Down prisoners, but the warlords? Okay, maybe Weevil. but we know Miss Buckin is in charge, so she's calling the shots for Weevil. No, there is two possible reasons for this. One being that the other four, like the world government, are using him as a scapegoat. Consider this, the water system has been revoked. Now they're all just common pirates once again and can be hunted by the Marines. Now while they're all strong in their own right, being chased and having to fight the Marines, it's painful and a lot of effort. And seeing as they've not had to deal with that for many years, they may be a bit rusty. So why not join forces and create a crew that even the Marines will have to think twice about going after? Strength in numbers. And it's not like Buggy hasn't done this before either. He joined forces with Alvida and even teamed up with Luffy to break out of Impel Down. The reason he's been a scapegoat is simple. Like with Alvida, only he, Buggy, got sent to Impel Down, and where his reputation of being an ex-Roger pirate makes him more infamous than the rest, so the target is more on his head as the captain who recruited all these heavy hitters. Now, before I give my thoughts on this and move on to the second idea of how Buggy gained these pirates to join him, let me point this out. To become a Yonko, you need power or territory. This is what we need to ask. What does Buggy have? We know he's weak, so not powerful. Does he have territory? Possibly he was expanding his delivery business so he have gained some territory, but the truth is he does have power. Power being his crew once again. C. It's not just warlords that join, it's their respective crews too. Meaning both Hanko brings all the Amazon Lily into the crew, Crocodile brings the agents with him, like Mr. Wan, and Weevil brings Miss Bucking, and Mihawks as well himself, and maybe Perona and some baboons. Nonetheless, it's quite the boost to the Buggy pirates and could more than qualify as a power scale for a Yonko crew.
But I have an idea that it's really this. The second idea. It's all a big setup and been planned out by one man. I'm talking about none other than Shanks. That's right, Shanks has set this whole thing up. And it all started when he went to speak to the Gurusei about a certain man. No, it wasn't Blackbeard, it wasn't Luffy, it was Buggy all along. But why? Because Shanks is setting Buggy up to be the next king of the pirates. Calm down, I can already hear your cries of, but Luffy is going to be the king of the pirates. And yes, that is true, but who said there can only be one? Poor Yonko, yet Luffy became the fifth. The rules don't apply to pirates, and in this case, there are some good reasons why this is going to make a lot of sense. To start with, Luffy will become the true king of the pirates. That's a fact. We ain't going near on 30 years for the MC to not end up as the king. That would be the best level of trolling from Oda, and us as fans would blow up, and not in a good way. So why would Buggy also become the pirate king too? Because Luffy will die. We've mentioned it here many times and gave our reasons, but most importantly it's been foreshadowed. Let's go all the way back to Logtown, the town of the beginning and the end. Luffy seeks out the place where Roger was executed and decides to see the view for himself. Luffy is then captured by Buggy, and Buggy tried to execute Luffy there and then. But notice something in this scene. It's Luffy and Buggy on the platform where Roger died, and Luffy shouts out that he'll become king of the pirates. Before the blade makes contact, Luffy says sorry to his crew. Sorry, I'm dead, and laughs. Right then, him and Buggy are hit by lightning and Luffy survives. But Buggy isn't made of rubber, so the lightning affects him and probably should have killed him, but he survives too. Now the title of that chapter is Luffy Dead. It's misleading and trolling, and yet we believe it's foreshadowing the end. Logtown is called the town of the beginning and the end. Now of course this applies to Roger's story. It's where he was born and where he dies. But who said it's just about Roger? This name is foreshadow of Luffy's beginning and his end. Luffy isn't born there, but he truly begins his goal to become the king of the pirates there, as he was unknowingly given his dad's blessing, as we predict that will be where he meets his end. Luffy knows he's dying, or doesn't have long to live, due to everything he's been through and put his body through. So when his journey comes to an end, he will repeat what Roger did before him, hand himself into the Navy, maybe Kobe, and request his execution to be at Logtown. Thus, bringing the story full circle. Chapter 1, Page 1, Roger's execution. Final chapter, final page, Luffy's execution. Maybe he'll start the next great pirate era. Just a fitting way to end the story. Oh, but wait, we didn't explain why Buggy is also the Pirate King.
Shanks possibly knows of Luffy's condition, and with his death will start a new pirate era. Only worse, because once the One Piece is discovered by Joy Boy and create the All Blue, uniting all the seas, then it's just a title and would end up being a battle for who can take over as the Pirate King. Shanks suggests to the Gorosei that in order to avoid more wars breaking out over this, there needs to be a scapegoat, someone who can become the face of the Pirate King, and he suggests Buggy. This too could also stop the possibility of another new pirate era, and yes, we just saw that Luffy might start one, but in the eyes of the world government, having appointed a Pirate King like Buggy is a safety net. After all, people would only naturally assume that someone who sailed under Roger could claim the title, and Buggy puts on a good show. Think back to the Roger flashback when they set out for Laugh Tale. Buggy becomes ill, so he and Shanks were left behind. Now let's talk at what Roger and the rest of the crew are doing when they're finding the One Piece. They're laughing. What do we laugh at? Things that are funny, like clowns. The island is even named Laugh Tale. It would also fit well with his style, a greedy nature, because after all, he too seeks wealth and fame and power, everything that Roger had. Buggy will be the Pirate King in the eyes of the world, but the real important characters know it was Luffy who was Pirate King. Consider this lastly, Blackbeard is the opposite of Luffy. Now both Yonko and Shanks and Buggy are opposite, but also share a connection to each other.
Why is it that Oda has set things up this way right towards the end? All the pieces are there, and in the end only one piece will remain. Thanks for watching, hope you all enjoyed it.
Anyways, thanks for watching the video. It's written by Legendary Anime. Please leave comments down below, please hit like, and if you haven't, please subscribe to Flying Panda, and of course, join our Discord. As you know, we got a Twitter account, meet us there. We got a Facebook, join us there. And also we got a Discord channel with over 2,000 members. We're a great admin team, great members. We always talk about our One Piece theories in this channel. We always talk about One Piece in general. We talk about films. We talk about games. So if you haven't already, see you there on the Discord channel. Flying Panda. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme, explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as a pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock ticks life away, it's so unreal. Didn't look out below, what time fly through out the window. Trying to hold on, but didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, even though I tried. It all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard. Flying Panda. Yeah. Flying Panda. Here we go now.